Hello guys, welcome back to my garage, and this is just gonna be an update video of all the things going on over the past week and what we got going on here in the future. So not enough to really build a hard video, like hard tech or anything like that, or just fun with me, Pete, or John or anything working on cars, but I'll just bring you up to speed on what's all going on. So if you caught up with the last video I put out there at the end, we got a Paladin shipped from the States. Had a transmission for John in there. It was a 4R70W. Came with a rebuild, expensive torque converter, all the stuff to retrofit it into a newer car with a standalone transmission controller and things like that. So John, that was his original plan, to put that in his coupe, but it just took so long to get that transmission here. John switched gears and went with the TKX like me and Pete did. So just so he can get his car going, and so far it's worked out for him because he's been on the road for several months now before he even got this transmission. So he'll be looking to sell that soon, and yeah, other things that were in that container. Here's two engine blocks here, I'll show you. And here are the two short blocks. So just both standard bore 302 roller motors. You know, no cams, but just a short block, crank rods, pistons. And you can see this one here obviously has had a supercharger or something at one point, so it'll be interesting to take this down. And they're going to need everything. Rebore probably take them both to 30 over at the same time. You know, get pistons, but this is just a long-term project money makers. As and when I get time, you know, I'll put some money into these things, build them up, and sell them all over here. So hopefully make a little bit of money. But just blocks and cranks and things like that are hard things to get over here in the UK. So well, it'll be some money down the road, and it's something I'll be working on. And also in that container, I got two more T5's. So I got one for a friend, just the T5 by itself. It was a 4-cylinder T5. That's going to be going in his 77 Cobra 2 Mustang. So that's this bin of parts. And there's another T5 in there that came with the bell housing and some other things. But the big disappointment on that transmission was I was sold it as, you know, a working good T5, and it came to me as a non-world class T5. So it was a huge kick in the junk as far as being able for resaleability and things like that over here. So if you see here, this is the 4-cylinder T5 world class, so it uses roller bearings on the main shaft, and the non-world class one still uses just a heavier gear oil, and it still uses brass blocker rings. So there's nothing inherently bad about it. It has actually a better gear set, which is similar to like the world or the T5's E-Spec, a 295 first gear, 0.63 overdrive, but the big downer of it is people read too much crap on the internet, and beautiful marketing as far as Borg Warner and Tremec go, calling the newer transmissions world class. So, because that makes everything else seem not world class, therefore inferior, and it is totally not the case. I've seen non-world class T5s handle just as much stuff, if not a little bit more, than a regular T5 will, just because the gear oil is a little bit more forgiving on certain things, like the input shafts or the main shaft roller bearings. You never see them worn out on the non-world class ones, but you see with the world class, because the lightweight ATF oil just isn't as good as lubricant. You see all the bearing or the teeth on the gears are all usually in much better shape on the non-world class T5s, and where these ones, they can sometimes get filed to a point and things like that, and sync or clutching teeth get worn off a lot more, just because it's a thinner oil. You know, it's meant for fuel mileage and not really durability. So there's pluses and minuses, but it's just the big minus is when you live in a world of English people, they believe everything they read on the internet, and they think non-world class transmissions are total garbage. So it's just going to be, I may get half of what I would for the transmission when it comes time to sell it than I would if it was a world-class T5, even though at the end of the day it'll handle the same amount of power. So, but Yeah, this is I already blasted the tail shaft for it. I planed the 4-cylinder stuff up here. That's all been bead blasted. My little tiny cabinet is really getting a workout this week, but I still have the main case and the lid to go for the non-world class one still. I mean, it's got to wash them. I got to knock a new pilot bearing or a tail shaft bushing in to each one. So, and with the 4-cylinder T5 really kind of sucked as well, because I got it in for a buddy. We worked because he's got a 4-cylinder car. It was going to be a 4-cylinder T5. It was going to go in, be nice and easy and cheap for him, but when it showed up, I go through everything just as a matter of course because I don't trust anything. And when I got it open, red ATF did not come out. It was clear gear oil. And gear oil is a big, huge no-no for world-class T5s because it just destroys the synchronizers. So these are the synchros that came out right here. And I mean, to buy the good synchros, you're looking at $230 plus shipping. And it's just, you know, what we got to have to do to get his transmission back together. So everything looked good in it because it had heavy gear oil, so the gear teeth looked right. But yeah, all the synchros were just smoked. So yeah, 1 or 2 other parts needed attention in his transmission, but that's small. But yeah, all the seals were hard as a rock because of the gear oil. They're just not compatible. Once you have ATF in it, then to go gear oil, it just makes every single seal turn into a rock. So yeah, it was just disappointing as the transmission was sold as good working order. And obviously, the person that we bought it from is a known Fox Body Mustang parter outer. And he's all after the almighty dollar. I mean, he doesn't care about the car. He just cares about the money. So he just took us for a ride, and this is what we get. But here I am in another country away, so I can't really do anything about it. It's been about a year since we bought the transmissions, had them, palletized them, shipped them, got them here. So I don't have a leg to stand on really to go back and say, hey, dude, what's up? But anyway, that's kind of the state of things. That's new anyway. We got Pete's intake manifold back here. So we got to weld up this crack. So I got an aluminum burr here. I'm just going to grind it all out down into there. I'm going to fire up the Everlast TIG welder here. And try to have a play again and build this back up, but I'm waiting for a tap. I have all my junk here. I got a bunch of pipe taps, but I don't have NPT big enough for this yet, so it's on order. Coming from Amazon, so as soon as that gets here, I think that's when I'm going to start working on this. So I don't want to start making a mess any more than I already have. So, but I may show you a little bit grinding it out. I don't know what I'm going to get up to today. So, but, and I think lastly, I got the coupe dashboard apart. So I have the binnacle out. Sitting here, and I'm waiting for some parts to do something with this, which you should find interesting in an upcoming video. So it's all about wiring in a stealth shift light, which I told John and Pete about, and they seem pretty excited about it. But to me, it's just like, yeah, well, I just don't want it to be known that I got a shift light in there, and how I'm going to hide it. So we got down to Pete's last Wednesday. So we're back in the garage on a Wednesday night. We've had it running, we've done a bit of tuning, we're now fixing bits. John's put the clutch cable in.
Yes, it may not be in correctly, but it is in.
Mike is under fixing the air-fuel ratio gauge.
Well, he's got a lot more part now than he
there's more in bits than what it was at the start of the evening.
The good news is the wiring will be redone completely by tomorrow.
And that is purely Mike's job, because Mike put it in there. But while Mike was doing that, I had to repair a brake line, because as you'll see on this bit here, look, it's flat, where Mike managed to accidentally hit it. So
He'll edit it out though.
So I've made a new one.
Mike breaking it.
So this is now going on the rear of the car. Hopefully we'll get the cable on, and me and John can then bleed the brakes.
We got his car running. We got the fuel pressure center unit working in his Holly Sniper. Set the fuel pressure, which wasn't too far off of what we kind of guessed it as, but we set it properly. Got the timing set properly. And once we got that done, it wasn't really more we could do until we drive it and start tuning it. So off the intake came, and it's back here so I can fix the crack. So, but I got my burr here to work on that. And the welder, but that's kind of the last thing I'll be doing for this weekend. I mean, today's Saturday afternoon. I'll probably going down to a swap meet tomorrow in the UK. If you look about a year ago in my videos, we got a swap meet video where I was selling stuff, but I'm not going to be selling stuff this year because I just got too much Fox body stuff, and they're looking for generic V8 stuff for their hot rods and things like that there. And but I'm going down there to do some business. I got some shocks and struts to sell to someone. I have another T5 to pick up to work on from someone, and to see if I can find any deals while I'm down there. So you never know. I mean, last year I found that Edelbrock intake. So it's not very a good one, but it's good enough for me to use on the run stand, and I picked it up for 40 bucks. So no cracks, just needed a whole lot of pipe plugs to fill all the holes in it. But yeah, it'll be a fun day. That's it. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll catch you guys later.